Hey, Kristyglass here, and look who's back. It's
Ricci. Hi guys.
And the last time you were here, well, we did a little like vloggy thing in Bryant Park last year.
That was in Bryant Park. Yeah.
But our interview has been a couple years now.
2017.
Oh my goodness.
January 2017.
You're so good at remembering dates. And I asked Nancy back because she is not only a knitter, but she's also a crocheter.
Yes, I do crochet.
And so I thought we could talk about that. And you shared so beautifully your story on our interview about how you needed knitting, you know, with this sort of transitional time of life.
Yes.
And so talk about how you came to crochet.
So I learned knitting and crochet at the same time.
Oh.
That was in 2006. I was in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and there was this little yarn shop. I don't know if it still exists. It's called You Can Knit.
Love it.
And I went there and they taught me the purl stitch. And since the crochet teacher was there, and her name is Nancy the bodybuilder. So Nancy the bodybuilder taught me how to crochet.
Mm-hmm.
She taught me how to crochet the single crochet, and then I made a whole scarf. And then I got this book from Debbie Stoller, The Happy Hooker, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And there was this beautiful capelet in there. And there was a, what do you call it, a diagram?
Oh, yeah, like a chart?
A chart.
Yeah.
A chart. There was a chart in there. And I kept looking at the chart. And I didn't understand what was going on.
Yeah.
And it was all like, I don't know what this means. But I kept on going to that chart, and I kept on looking at that little capelet, and suddenly it clicked. I was like, oh, that is what this means. And I started to try, and started to crochet.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed it. But I started to knit more than I crochet. So for years I was only knitting, and then suddenly I got into crochet again.
Yeah. Now, what I remember the mandalas kind of started. Was that the sudden part for you, or was it something else?
So the mandalas, first I did scarves. If you can hand me that.
Yes.
Yeah. So what I really like with crochet is to start in the middle. So here we have a hexagon. This is a hexagon pattern. You start in the middle. And I found this really cute hexagon pattern. It's called Super Simple Hexagon, and it's on oneloop2short.blogspot.com.
Oh my gosh, good for you.
But Super Simple Hexagon, and it's also on Ravelry.
Let me just show this close up. You can see that shape.
And it looks like a tile. It reminded me of a tile. And it was all, the instructions were all written out, and it was like, I don't understand. I don't understand when it's all written out. So I was like, what? I don't understand. So I put it away. And then several months later, I tried again. And I figured it out. So I started to do all these colors. I picked out 3 colors and started to play with these 3 colors.
They look like Malabrigo, maybe?
Yes, it's Malabrigo Major. And then, so this is a hexagon crochet style. And then I was like, I don't want a hexagon. I want it in a square. And then I started to tinker, and I made a square.
Okay.
So I made a square, and this is how it started. And then in 2017, I visited my parents in the Netherlands, because my parents are from the Netherlands. And of course, it's my dad, my mom and my dad, and I have a strained relationship with my dad.
Right.
And I came home, and I said to myself, I need to work myself through this whole thing with my dad. I want to understand my dad, and I want to understand what he had gone through as a little boy, and what trauma he faced, and as a grown-up, how he was with us. Sometimes it was a little bit difficult, and I wanted now to understand why that was. And I started to do mandalas. I started to do these mandalas. And these mandalas helped me understand somehow. I don't know how it worked, but it was the most significant project I've ever worked on. And there was a lot of crying. There was a lot of crying, and there was a lot of, touching these pains that we all have in our beings and then tuck away. But these mandalas brought it in a gentle way. These mandalas brought it all to the forefront, and they helped me to reconcile and to understand. And I don't know, it just helped me get through certain things.
Do you think that you were meditating?
Yes, definitely. I was definitely in a meditative state, and these mandalas really helped me in a very gentle way to work through my pains and to understand what was going on with my dad and what was going on with our relationship. So I'm very thankful for these mandalas.
I love you are so vulnerable to share that with us, because not everyone can go there.
Yeah.
And when I look at these mandalas and just how beautiful they are,
I think they're beautiful.
It really resonates with me, and I've shared this before, and I don't know if I've shared this personally with you, but when I was going through the worst health trial of my life, I just felt I needed to learn to crochet. I just did it for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours.
Yes, and it was meditative for you?
I guess. I mean, I don't remember the actual working through a problem, kind of like you're talking about with your dad. And by the way, when I hear you talk, it's almost like you were willing yourself to forgive.
Oh yes.
Like it was a gift to yourself.
Oh yes, it was definitely coming to that place of forgiveness. To forgive. I don't know what to forgive, but to forgive, And also when you forgive, then if you hold on to pain and if you hold on to anger, you poison yourself.
This is true.
And to get rid of that pain and to get rid of that anger, you have to come to a place of forgiveness and understanding, really, to understand what somebody else had gone through and how that affects people in your life. It has a ripple effect,
Kind of like the mandala.
Yes, but also on the positive side, the mandala and forgiveness and understanding, that also has a ripple effect. It has a very strong ripple effect. So yeah, these mandalas, this is one of my most significant projects. And I will never forget this time that I was doing these. Yeah.
I love thinking about choosing a project like with that intention.
Yes.
Of like, this is going to be it. I'm going to make this with this intention, and at the end, or I will know when I've reached the end when I finish that last mandala and I don't reach for it again. Right?
And that happened. And also, I now have all these mandalas, and my husband said to me, they're so beautiful, you need to find a way to display them. How are you going to display them? So I found these rings.
Yes.
I found these rings.
This is metal.
And I crocheted the mandalas onto it. So
you crochet around the whole thing?
Around the whole thing. And
then attach.
Yes, and then I attach it. So I still have to do it with the other ones. And to have that on your wall is really beautiful.
This has so much versatility potential. I was just thinking I wanted to wear it as a necklace.
You can do a little mandala. You can do like this little tiny mandala. But ever since then, I'm very taken by crochet, where you start in the middle. You start in the middle and you work your way out. So you start in the core.
Yeah.
And so...
Oh, there's so much symbolism there.
And so I love making flowers, where you start in the middle. Oops. And then these are this pattern is called Icelandic Poppy, and then you make the pots. You make the pots, the cute little pots.
So this is the center.
That's the center, and so poppies. I can make poppies for days, and I just go on and on and on and on, and I get into that meditative state.
Yes.
And strangely enough, I crochet a lot when I'm on a holiday, on a vacation. You love that one?
Yeah, I love this one. So why is that strange though that you crochet on holiday?
I don't know. Whenever we go, my parents-in-law have a lake house, and whenever we go to the lake in the summertime, I only pack cotton and I only bring my crochet hooks,
Yeah.
and I just want to crochet. I
Yeah.
don't want to knit. I only want to crochet. So last summer, I crocheted all these cupcakes.
They're not quite put together yet.
They're not quite
Look
put
how
together yet.
cute.
But this is by designer Twinkie Chan.
I love her.
And so this was supposed to be a fascinator, right?
Yeah.
Supposed to be a fascinator.
I love it.
But my mother-in-law, it was her birthday.
Mm-hmm.
So I made a lot of cupcakes and I gave it to her on her birthday while we were at the lake. So a lot of cupcakes, I don't know, and I just keep on making them and keep on making them, and the colors are so beautiful.
You need to have like a put them together party where you
Yes.
just put all the cherries on top.
Right? And then I have all these
gorgeous.
colors all spread around me.
Yeah.
And you know, to somebody else it can look like crazy, right?
Yeah.
All these little items all spread around me. To somebody else it can be like,
Yes.
it's cuckoo.
Oh, not me then.
But to me it's like, it's my happy place.
Mm-hmm.
All these colors and all these beautiful forms and all these beautiful flowers around me, it's just my happy place.
Yeah.
And you know, I just want to be, I don't need to be in a bar, you know. I don't need, I really need very little. I need my yarn and I need my tools, and I can create. And I just want to be by myself, and then these then become my friends. Okay, that sounds really weird.
I like it. I'm going with it.
And then I also made one summer, actually the same summer where I made all the cupcakes, I made these flower crowns, and these flower crowns these are called Frida crowns, and you can find the pattern on Ravelry. I'm sorry, I forgot the name of the designer.
Okay.
But my friend Hannah, who was also my coworker, she made one.
Mm-hmm.
And she wore it to work, and it was so happy. It was so beautiful and happy. And then I said to myself, I want to make crowns.
Yeah.
I want to make flower crowns, and just makes me feel happy. And at first I was like, you know, New York City, everybody wears black.
Yeah.
You know, and you don't want to really have much attention
Call
to
attention,
yourself, especially when you're in the subway.
Yes.
And I was like, shall I wear the crown to work? Shall I wear it in the subway? So first I would put my crown in my bag, and when I would arrive to work, I would put on my crown, and then I was like, no, I'm gonna wear my crown in the subway.
Yeah.
I don't care. I'm just gonna wear my crown, and it's fine. Nobody cares.
Yeah.
Nobody cares.
I don't think anyone cares, although I will say if I have a loud hand knit hat on,
People will comment.
well, they talk to me. They talk to me
Yeah.
more, like they ask me for help or
Yeah.
more.
Yes, and it's an invitation
It
to
is.
talk to somebody. I mean, when you wear black, I think I don't know for sure, but if I'm really in a mood where I don't want people to talk to me, I wear dark clothes, right? And if I feel better, and if I can handle somebody a stranger talking to me, and people will say, well, it's all right if a stranger will talk to you, but you gotta know this about New York City. There are 6 million people daily on the island of Manhattan, and you don't want, you know, a lot of people talking to you. It's a lot to process.
Yeah.
It's very intense. Living in New York City is very intense. And sometimes you just need to create your bubble to get through, you know, to get through your commute.
Yeah, it's so funny how close we sit, like on the subway.
Yeah, very
but there's
close.
still
Very close.
there's still a wall here.
Or sometimes, you know, sometimes I knit in the subway, and somebody is like really close. Somebody's butt is really close. You can literally poke them. You can literally do that. But so New York City is that. It teaches you to kind of focus, because when you realize that you're in a subway like full of people, you know, to me it's really how to say, nobody freaks out.
No.
And this has to happen, and everybody can freak out.
That's right.
So everybody's trying, I think, not to freak out. Everybody's like in their zone. Stay calm, you know, stay calm. Don't make eye contact. But if you never lived in New York City, you have no idea what it means to you.
Now I have some questions.
Yeah.
Let's talk about crochet versus knitting, just because that's something that's come up on my channel before, and I remember when I became a good fiber artist, it was through crochet.
Mm-hmm.
And then I realized I felt this thing like in the atmosphere, like knitting's better.
Oh yeah,
I felt that. Do you?
So I never, I never felt that until people started to tell me. I noticed that people started to make faces when I would say crochet, and I was like, why are you making that face?
Yeah.
Crochet is beautiful. Crochet is absolutely beautiful. And then I noticed that things were attached to crochet.
Okay.
Right? And whatever those things are that are attached to crochet, I don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
Crochet is beautiful. I love to crochet. I knit and crochet both. And I am from the Netherlands. When I lived in the Netherlands, I didn't crochet, I didn't knit. But when I went back to the Netherlands as a knitter, as a crocheter, I noticed that crochet was bigger than knitting here in the United States. And crochet has more positive attention than knitting in the Netherlands. Correct me if I'm wrong, Duchies. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I noticed there was a lot more crochet going on, and knitting was like, oh no, we crochet. So it was the opposite in the Netherlands. And then here I started to notice, that crochet, people were feeling differently about crochet, and why? I really don't know. There's no need to feel negatively about crochet. There's no need to make a face. When we talk about crochet, crochet is awesome. Tell me that this is not beautiful. You tell me that this is not beautiful, and this is crochet. It's absolutely classy, and I love the little fans here. It has like this Japanese feel to it. So nobody's gonna tell me that crochet is not beautiful.
And also, I mean, I would never think to myself, let me sit down and try to knit a cupcake.
Right.
Let me knit this headband.
Yes.
Let me knit whatever. I just, that doesn't make sense to me.
Yes.
They're just different crafts.
They're just different crafts.
And what they have in common is the yarn.
The yarn, and that's, and that is what I really am focused on, is the yarn. At first I thought, I'm in love with knitting, right? I'm a knitter, I'm a knitter for life, I'm in love with knitting. And then crochet came along, and then I said to myself, I'm in love with crochet. I love crochet. So now I'm a knitter and a crocheter. And then weaving came along. So I started to weave on a loom, on a square loom. And I said to myself, I love weaving, I'm a weaver. And then I realized,
I love yarn.
It's the yarn. It's all about the yarn.
I feel like that's what you said in our last interview, that you think about yarn.
Yes, 24/7.
24/7.
24/7 I think about yarn.
At the Andrea Mowry event that we just had this past weekend, you were there, right? Were you there?
I was.
I didn't see. Oh,
I was in Nitty City.
I couldn't see anyone in the audience. So if you didn't come and say hi to me after, I have no idea if you were there. So hi. But at the event, it was so funny because she said, sometimes I'm sitting in bed at night next to my husband, and I turn to him and I'd say, I really love knitting. It was delivered so well, and it was so funny. But it's true, we think about it a lot.
Yes, we do.
And I love embroidering, I love needlepoint.
I do that too.
Right now I'm just obsessed with knitting. It's not that I don't love, crochet. Now, so this was something that I think is worth discussing.
Okay.
Which is, a lot of yarn shops have a knit theme. Like, they're named a knitting shop, like Nitty City.
Right.
That's an example.
Exactly.
So the question is, how can yarn shops get the word out that you can also come and use our yarn to crochet? Like, what would you answer to that?
So I would answer to that, Instagram is big nowadays. And if you are a yarn shop owner, I think it's a good idea, if you have an Instagram account, take pictures of crocheted items and post it on your Instagram account, and take pictures of your customers crocheting, and take pictures of your employees teaching how to crochet to your customers, and have crochet samples out in the store. This way you can elevate crochet,
Yeah.
and this way you can bring crochet to the foreground, and this way you can celebrate crochet. And crochet is gorgeous, it's beautiful, you can make beautiful items, and as well with knitting and as well with weaving. But if you want to be more open to crochet, and if you want to let people know that, hey, crocheters are safe in my store, post pictures of crocheted items, post pictures of your customers crocheting, and post pictures of your employees teaching people how to crochet. So that would be my advice to yarn shop owners.
That's great.
Yeah.
I love the idea of having a crochet corner. You know, if you don't want to, you know, if you don't want to go crazy with the crochet, but like having a dedicated space.
Yes.
More than a corner. I like crochet corner because of the alliteration. I
Yes.
guess that's why
I
I thought of that.
that.
But I think that this would be stunning in a yarn shop.
Oh, definitely.
I would be so drawn to a giant display of something like this, these mandalas, or
yes.
I mean, I just feel like, and as knitters, we have so much extra yarn that it doesn't have to be, you know, an extra expense. It's not a huge new craft. You're just getting a hook.
And
you know?
besides that,
Yes, besides
crochet can be very helpful in your knitting.
Yes.
I love wide necklines for my sweaters, and one time I had a really wide neckline, and to bring it in, you can single crochet or even slip stitch. You slip stitch around your collar, and it can bring it in. And also little details on your knitting can be really beautiful with crochet. So crochet, to know how to at least do the slip stitch, can be very handy in your knitwear, in your knitting adventures.
I've done 2 sweaters this year, 2019, that both incorporated crochet.
Yeah, and look, you're wearing a very
Crochet
beautiful crocheted
vest.
item, and I remember I saw you wearing a really beautiful crochet sweater with white cotton.
Yes, I
That was
love that
gorgeous.
piece.
And you were wearing it with your beautiful skirt, kind of like tulle skirt with like glitters, and it was absolutely beautiful, very feminine.
Yeah.
I loved it. I loved it on you.
And that was a fast project, and it was summer project. I loved doing it. And I think I did this in the summer too, because I don't always want to have this woolly, you know, sleeve situation in the summer.
Yes, exactly.
The other thing I wanted to say is that sometimes people they'll say, do you have that pattern in the crochet version? And so I would just say crochet and knitting are different beasts. They're different babies. And so, you know, we can honor each with how they function. And I mean, I did a knit along for Rhinebeck last year, the unicorn along, and Michelle Costa, she designed a knit and a crochet version.
Fun.
She did a great job with that.
Great job, Michelle.
Lots of people responded to that. But, so that's an instance where you can do it, but you would never knit this. This is not a knitted thing. You have to.
Oh my gosh, my hats, my
You
summer
have
hats.
to crochet these.
You have to crochet.
Do you wear this to the lake?
Yes,
Tell me you wear it to the
I
lake.
wear this to the lake.
Oh, am I wearing it wrong? Do I have to flip mine?
So I'm like, I put it up like so.
This is like the hat I wore when I was like a Blossom fan. Remember? 1989.
But this is like so fun. You can create a hat, and if your border, if this is too floppy, you can put something in it. You can put a, what do you call it? I forget the name. You can flowers. Yes, you can embellish it with flowers.
Now talk about the Pole V who came to.
Oh, Ellen! I love Ellen. I love Ellen. Ellen came to the store. When was it? It was.
I know when it was.
It was 2018.
Was it?
In February, and I was sick. I was sick at the time. Yes, and I went home sick that day, and my coworker sends me a picture of this really beautiful lady with a beautiful crochet shawl. And I said to my coworker, "Thank you for the picture. I'm going to post it right away on Instagram. Who is she?" And then I started to do research, and I noticed that she is from the Netherlands. I'm from the Netherlands. So I contacted her. I reached out to her, and I remember I was sick. I reached out to her and I said, "I want to interview you for Nitty City. Can I please interview you?" And she said, "Yes, I want you to interview me, and let's plan." And I was like, "I don't feel too well, but I'm going to be better." But I didn't get better. So I canceled. I reached out to her on Instagram and I said, "I'm sorry, I really don't feel well. I have to cancel our meeting. And she said, where do you live? Where do you live? I will come to you.
She's so
yes,
wonderful.
she's so wonderful. And then she came to my neighborhood, which is all the way up in Manhattan, all the way in the northern tip of Manhattan. They also call it upstate Manhattan because it's so far away from the inner city. And she came and we did an interview, and then she said to me, I really want to take a picture with my shawls on one of the fire escapes of the apartments of New York City. And I said, come to my apartment, stand on the fire escape and take pictures. So that's what she did. But she's really lovely, and she also inspired me to make flowers and to make just sweet little things. Here I have a daffodil, and the daffodils are out now in the city. I see daffodils everywhere.
I just saw them popping up.
Yeah, so Ellen really inspired me to make all these little tiny things, tiny flowers, sweet little things.
And I did an interview with her, so I'll link it underneath this video, and you can see her pieces. And
really
she's
stunning.
I think she's coming back.
She's coming in August. I believe she's coming in August, and she's going to teach classes again at Nitty City, but you really have to meet her. She is a real treat and a fantastic teacher, and she will make your world more colorful than you ever thought it would be, and happier. So come see her when she is here in the city. I believe she's going to teach in other yarn shops too.
The same weekend, Let's look at this book. I don't think we held this up yet.
Yeah, so this book is a book by Hafner. Her name is Hafner Linssen, and Hafner is Dutch. So I see a lot of crochet books coming out from the Netherlands. There's a lot of great crochet designers in the Netherlands, and I used her book to create all these mandalas because she has a beautiful chart. She has gorgeous charts in her book, and the charts I understand. If I have to read a crochet pattern, it's very hard for me to understand.
It has both.
Yeah, and it has both.
So it has it written out,
and it has a chart. So
and then a picture of it. So
a picture of it. Yeah. So, but whenever I see crochet charts, it makes sense to me. If it's written, I get confused. And with knitting, it's the other way around.
Yeah.
When it's written out in knitting, I understand better than I understand charts.
And they have this at Nitty City.
Yeah.
So if you're local, you can pick that up. And I bet you could. Do you guys ever ship out orders if people call you?
Yes, definitely. We ship out orders.
You could say, I would like the mandalas to crochet, and Nancy, could you just curate a little box for me? And I will crochet that. I bet she'd do that. I bet Nancy would do that.
I'll do that for you guys.
Well, this has been so great. I think I get in and out of my crochet craving, you know, like you, and for me, more than knitting, crochet has really served a purpose, and I just really appreciate you sharing that with us.
Definitely.
And I'd love to hear your thoughts on, you know, people watching, your thoughts on crocheting too. I actually read every comment. I don't respond anymore. I don't have time. But I respond to a few if there's like a really specific question that I happen to catch and I can respond.
Yes.
But I still feel really inspired to read them, and I think other people do too. So don't feel like you're writing into a black hole. I'm here. I saw it. But I would just love to hear what you have to say. I mean, I find that crocheting brings out my creative juices the most. And I saw that here with just seeing these different flowers you put together, and definitely with the mandala color stories. I think a mandala colors, like doing a mandala, actually several of them, is a great idea if you're gonna approach, if you're a knitter who also crochets, if you're gonna approach like a yoke sweater.
Oh, yes.
Because you can kind of go, there it is.
Yeah.
There's my colors.
Exactly. And so here we started in the middle, but if you start a little bit out, then there's your yoke.
If I were to have magical animation technology and this were to morph into a sweater, I would say the body would probably be pink, just because that's the majority color I see here, and then the yoke colors would be here. So that's kind of an interesting creative process that you could go through for the whole summer.
Oh, definitely.
And then turn them into projects.
Yes.
Knitting or crochet.
And also there's some fantastic crochet designers out there. Gigi Made It started to talk about crochet, and she highlighted several crochet designers and beautiful sweaters and beautiful shawls. So there's lots of beauty within crochet, and new designers are popping up and making gorgeous crochet items. So, you know, give crochet a try.
Yeah.
It's really fun. It's really fun to crochet.
I crocheted the first pair of socks I ever made were crochet.
Oh, really?
And it was really fun. They were thicker socks, but you know, good house socks. And I also have I have a jacket and a sweater on the hook right now that I want to finish that is going to they're going to make great pieces to wear. So, and I love this piece too.
Yeah.
It was fun to crochet and it's
beautiful.
really
and
fun.
You had this wonderful crochet designer on your channel, Nassimimo.
Oh yes.
Nas.
Yes.
His crochet items. When I saw his crochet items for the first time, I was like,
yeah.
Yes, I bow to you.
Yeah. His jackets were amazing.
His jackets amazing, and his sense of color and and he's a graphic designer as well. You can tell, and I would love to own a piece designed by him one time.
Yeah.
I have to save some money.
Totally.
But I would love to have a piece made by him.
Yeah. It's
I
so
would
inspiring.
love that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to make sure that I touch up the crochet playlist here because the whole month of May we're focusing on crochet and this
fantastic.
is one of the first videos.
I'm happy you're doing that.
Yeah, well
I'm really happy you're
I
doing
love
that.
it, and people, you know, I named my channel Kristyglass Knits because I was in a knitting phase at the moment, and also I liked the KGK. I liked the 2Ks.
Yes.
So that made sense at the time, but I love it. And people, whenever I talk about crochet, people are like, yay, we're talking about crochet today. So crochet in May.
Yes. KGK loves crochet.
That's right. That's right. Of course I do. So I will make sure that the crochet playlist is up to date, and I have some of these videos that we're talking about, that we're referring to, will be in that playlist. And thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for showing all of my crocheted items.
Yeah.
I have a lot of fun making all these little crochet things,
little
flowers, little fish.
Look at these little fishes.
And it's also very sweet when you send somebody a card and you put this in there. You know, sweet. It's just sweet. And I sent a card to somebody recently, and I put like this little daffodil in there. It's just sweet.
Yeah.
Just sweet stuff.
It's so thoughtful.
So thank you for having me.
Well, thank you, and I hope you'll come back
For sure.
another time.
Bye.